Guess what? Fuck! Fuck, I need a cocktail today. A lot going on in the world. Whole lot going on. We could talk about the U.S. President's recent loss to the NFL, which is not really reassuring for the escalating tensions with North Korea if he is losing to the NFL, who isn't fighting him. We could talk about the Catalan independence vote, which may or may not go down this week. That's another thing on my mind a lot. And of course, tomorrow we'll certainly be talking about healthcare. But instead today, I wanted to talk about something very small in politics. I normally talk about really big topics. And that was a recent report I heard about the Sanchez family in South Texas. And if you've already heard this, of course, you know where I'm going with this. Mexican immigrant family, 4 kids who are U.S. citizens. Doesn't take much to be a U.S. citizen. You just show up and be born here. Their youngest child, Isaac, had a small stomach problem that can be fatal in infants, but easily fixed with surgery. And when they were trying to decide how to do this surgery, they had to travel to Corpus Christi, and in the process of making those decisions, they were picked up by ICE agents. 2 immigrants with no criminal record at all, picked up at the hospital with their potentially terminally ill baby. To skip to the end of this, because there's no drama in a baby possibly dying, the baby's fine. The baby got surgery. The ICE agents arrested the parents and escorted them throughout the whole process. They believe they were turned in by a nurse. In case you were wondering, nurses don't take a Hippocratic oath. So they're allowed to do as much harm as they like. And that's what happens in these situations when there aren't safe places for people, when you can't go to the doctor and you can't go to the police and you can't go to courtrooms. Things become very unsafe for people. And when you can't go to the doctor, the only medicine you're left with is bourbon. So, to take that terrible story of taking medical care away from marginalized people, we'll talk about people's best medicine for a long time, which was bourbon. Specifically, today, we're going to make a hot toddy. And we're going to make this as a strong hot toddy because it's cold out and I'm about to take the dog for a walk. So we're going to throw an ounce of bourbon in there, and that's going to be your symptom reliever. Now, when you do a hot toddy, that's what's going to really take away the aches and pains and take the edge off. And actually, I'm going to put this ounce of bourbon back in here because what I didn't do, and what I've been telling everybody to do, is to first warm the glass. So we're going to start by warming the glass. Like I say frequently, when I'm not talking about immigrant rights, you have to throw hot water in this glass because everything else you're going to put in it is immediately going to go down at least 10 degrees if you don't warm the glass first. So now the glass has been warmed. As you can see, that glass is still nice and warm. Now we're going to throw the bourbon back in. So bourbon, great medicine. I was around for the change in the liquor laws in Washington, at which point liquor, specifically bourbon, was also mentioned by name. We're going to add a little bit of lemon to that. Get a little vitamin C in this cocktail. Bourbon was named as medicine in the new liquor laws. My dentist, who's super cool, has it framed on his wall saying that he is still allowed to prescribe bourbon. So normally when you're making a hot toddy, you've got your bourbon, you've got your heated glass, you got a little bit of lemon. I normally suggest people use agave nectar because it's easier to use. And frequently honey that you buy in the store is of dubious nature. I buy the fancy honey, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this honey, this Northwest honey. Now, there's some people that say that using honey from your local area is going to help with allergies that come from that area. I'm not going to weigh in on that or anything, but I am going to say that bees are having a fuck of a hard time. Supporting your local apiarist, I guess, is a good thing. So we're going to top that off with hot water. And this is your basic hot toddy. Definitely good to garnish, definitely good to stir, and this is something that you can give to somebody with a cold. This is someone you can give to a kid that is whining too much. I don't think that happens too much anymore. As always in everything, a couple dashes of bitters are going to do a lot of good stuff for that. And then you've got a pretty solid cocktail right here. So that's the hot toddy. That's going to treat your symptoms, at least. It might also treat something that's wrong with you, but I'm not going to weigh in on that because I am a doctor, even though I try to do no harm. I'm putting this in my travel mug because, like I said, I'm going to take the dog for a walk. And then another thing I like to do with my hot toddy is just, I like to throw a tea bag in there. I'm going to top this off with a little bit of Earl Grey so I can have a nice long walk with the dog. Okay, so, fuck, I need a cocktail. I hope that immigrants are still allowed to go to the doctor without fear of being deported. I hope you enjoy a hot toddy as something for your symptoms, but not your actual medicine, and that you actually go to the doctor when you need to. No war, hopefully. Sorry, Mr. President, you lost with the NFL. Sucker. Bye.